So the idea was to speak about mana. Last time we maybe start, and the best translation what we choose for mana was comparison. So when I compare myself with someone else, and also today the idea was to kind of link ditthi and mana, views, how we attach to views and how it leads to comparison when I think myself superior or equal and so on. And also, yeah, maybe we go through this and try to link it with things what happened today. So I want to speak about this one sutta from Sutta Nipata. They call Paramattaka Sutta. So you can translate this name as a highest sutta about something what is highest. When someone take anything as highest, anything as special, anything as unique, where it can lead. So we will go through this. So, and it starts, whatever he see as an advantage in himself, in regard to seeing, heard, thought, or virtue or practice. So maybe we can stop here. That it means by seeing, hearing, or thinking, or whatever I do, like practice or keep my sila or virtue, if I see in myself advantage or benefit, so I'm superior, I can see this beautiful sign, or I'm whatever, let's speak about more superiority. So I'm lucky, I can hear this beautiful music or whatever, or I have a beautiful voice, and other people can benefit from my nice things. And also whatever ideas I have, because I speak about thinking, like I have some ideas, I don't know that like after death I go to heaven if I do the good deeds. Yeah? If I do bad deeds, I go to hell. So this is kind of belief, and this is an idea, and nothing wrong to have this idea, because it's a correct idea, yeah, according to Buddha's teaching. But if I having this idea, see advantages in myself, like, oh, you know, I'm the special one, I know about these things. Other people don't know, so like it's a really bad for them. I'm actually in good position. So again, like just recognize that yes, I have a right view and it's in line with Buddha's teaching, and it may lead me to right destination. It's one thing. It's just admitting my like reality in a way. Another thing, think about myself as superior. Oh, you know, like it's actually very good that I have been born in this culture or something like this, and our culture is actually superior than they, you know, because we understand the Dhamma, they would not be able even, you know. So this kind of, you see, it's a very subtle point, like both of these involving, you admit, I have a good quality. We don't speak about that person overestimate himself or something like this. We don't speak about such cases, but really, person have something, like some good quality. Or even next speak about virtue or practice. I mean, these are the things what we need to cultivate, we need to develop. And so you take this practice as a highest, and on account of this, you despise other people. Attachment to ideas, we need to overcome this. And this is unwholesome, we need to go past these things. And the sutta continues, taking whole of just that in this regard, he see all others as inferior. So that's what we discussed. Like he attached to it, he grasped to it, he like hold it, and that's why he despised other people. Again, to see, as just before has been mentioned, to see and admit that this beneficial or this is unbeneficial, this is right, this is wrong, it's totally right. But be attached to it, be hold to it. Someone else told to you like, oh, you know, there's no, this, actually you shouldn't keep 5 sila, you should keep only 4 sila. You know, taking alcohol, no problem. You know, a little bit sometime in weekends. You know, in the West, it's a very common idea. Like, no, it's a big deal. Like, if every day a little bit is good for stomach. You know? So you see, and if I attach to this practice, if I hold it and I feel myself superior, I will start to argue with him, and I will despise him. Or, you know, what you cannot attain, you cannot even meditate with this view, definitely. But if I just admit, okay, it's probably his misunderstanding. It's totally fine. For myself, I choose for this reason to keep 5 sila, not 4, because I see advantages in it, just for myself. And I would not argue with someone. I would not like try to beat him, to put him down. If there's a room out of compassion to explain to him, like, you know, like it can be maybe to show him advantages or disadvantages of this principle, it's good. But if you keep it from the metta and from kind of helping attitude, not attitude that shows that I'm superior, you know, I'm keeping, because, you know, honestly we see these examples a lot. Like someone can bring some Dhamma point or virtue point with ideas that, you know, I know about this, you know, you don't know, I know about this. So this is, and you may feel it, of course, when you speak with person, you may feel, okay. So of course, thank you for sharing. It's a good point, but how you share it, you feel okay, like it's not inspiring, not ideal. I think this sutta speak about this, like attachment or identification. Maybe we will come to identification a bit later. So and then sutta continues, but just that is a not skillful one say, depending upon which he see another as inferior. So he says that this attachment, what you speak about, it's a knot or bondage. And the skillful ones, or Aryas, they usually refer this to the Aryas, or the wise people, they call it as a knot, dependent on which he see another as inferior. Again, I think everything what we discussed. Therefore, upon the seen, heard, or thought, or upon virtue and practice, a monk should not rely on depend on those things. So also interesting things, like I think it's come back to the sutta about simile of the raft. Usually they give the simile. So this Dhamma, I mean, of course, what we discuss here, seen, heard, or thought, it's one thing, even like just whatever I may see. Like I have a beautiful TV, big screen, you know, the latest 4K or whatever, 5K, I don't know, it exists or not. So like the most refined picture. And because of this, I can have superiority. I have this opportunity to see these beautiful pictures. I don't need maybe to travel somewhere. Yeah? I can see any place in the world with so detailed, so it's so wonderful. So I can be attached to it. And on more subtle level, it's attachment to virtue, to practice, to the Dhamma. So, and this sort of say that you don't need to depend or rely on these things, but you can use it. You can use it skillfully. I think once we come up with a short summary of this principle, they call it work in progress. Yeah. So I'm using this principle. I apply it to my practice. I try to practice accordingly, but also I don't take it as a ultimate understanding yet, because the practice develop, and every time when we kind of tend to take other people as a nouns rather than as a processes, because everyone mental and body together, it's always changing. Yeah, good example now, like we saw sister before, her body was around, now it's not like this. So the things has changed, and of course, like we kind of keep in mind the bad things and the good behavior or whatever. She was very helpful and so on, but also like to take it as a noun would be not correct. As any human being, she like develop on her way, like start maybe from somewhere and then develop her quality. And actually from this we can get inspiration. We can see if someone who know her for a while, yeah, just from maybe once she came to this group and then like before her passing away, maybe you can see the development. Yeah, so you see that like things are changing, things are moving, and it's just causes. It's nothing to do with, oh, like she was special, or we are the special in teams here. You know? Maybe it is, but to take it as a kind of ground to feel yourself superior to another, that's what this sutta speak about. Just to admit these practices or this Dhamma applied correctly in daily life, or follow Sirala and so on, helping, is lead to changing of the character and lead to this result. And of course can lead further. So this is a healthy recognition. You recognize, okay, you recognize the causes and effect, basically. But if you take like, okay, only person from this family can, okay, you know, she's very often when reading sutta or reading about some prominent monks, you may come to the, especially at the beginning, to the conclusion that it speak about arahants. It speak about really developed people. And that time, 2,500 years ago, people were different. People have much more advantages than we. Now we have technology. Now we have like anything like 4G, like whatever conspiracy theory may come. So yeah, maybe in some respect before people had some advantages, because of no technology and so on. But it doesn't mean that we cannot do it. The mind is the same, the principle is the same. The tools, even what Buddha gave to us, it's kind of, we need to apply similar tools. Just we need to integrate them in our environment, keeping the principle, keeping the spirit, and get inspiration from the sutta, get inspiration from monks, or even from monks who are around. We can see, like Bhante Devamitta or other teachers, we can see examples who, definitely among this community, some people who even can see development of Bhante Devamitta, for example. When he was, I don't know, someone saw him when he was just New Year monk. I'm not so sure. Maybe someone. But like definitely like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, anyone developed. And so this sutta speak about this kind of don't take people, don't take don't take yourself as something concrete, as something stable, unchanging. But just give it a room for improvement. Anyone can improve. Improvement very difficult. I'm sure, like all of you who try change our qualities, very difficult. Yeah, like you can see, like even I don't know, 5-10 years of practice, you can still see the same tendency. Maybe some like little bit less if you practice correctly, but still like you sometimes maybe like from kind of monastic life, you sometimes stay in monastery like for 5, 6, 7 years, and then you believe that, okay, my life is different, my mind is different. But like time after time, some ideas or memories or tendency from like 10 years ago, some lay intentions, it still come up and say, oh, interesting. So these things are there. And of course, if you're not mindful, if you're not aware, they may lead to activities. So this tendency come and you do something what maybe you don't like should do or something like this. So very difficult to change. And maybe last things to mention, it's also mentioned the word jnana. Don't be attached or don't be dependent on jnana. And the word jnana can be translated as knowledge. This part clearly we understand. We shouldn't make any view or any opinion or strong fixed mindset just because of knowledge. Like I read something in the suttas and then, okay, this is like this. Or even I don't know, I read something in science and should be like this. So this for, like, I think this is clear, this is basic things. But the word jnana can be translated also as insight, spiritual insight. And the sutta speak about don't form any ideas or views based on your spiritual insight. So it's like, it discourages us to do vipassana. No, it just says that don't jump to conclusion too fast. Because we like, I think many of you who practice some insight practice, you can get some understanding from something like, okay, reality is impermanent or whatever. But this understanding is just short moment of understanding. And you cannot, like, without enough practice, you cannot apply the same principle for other things. But you may feel, okay, I saw it, I saw impermanent. And that's why I'm, maybe I'm a stream enter. So this idea, like I try to form my view because of my insight, and forgetting this is impermanent. This insight now it's like this. Tomorrow I can do even more stupid things actually than I did yesterday, because these things need consistency. And even for advanced practitioners who have insight very kind of regularly, even then to form ideas or views about the world based on this would be not correct, because even that is like change on advanced level. Maybe change are more subtle, but still there are some change. And if I take, okay, the world is like this, because everyone understands the word impermanence differently. Yeah, what is impermanent? I don't have a different. Okay, maybe sensation is impermanent. Yeah, now I feel pain. Now I don't feel pain. Yeah, or in more subtle level, or what is impermanence? It's just that every moment the experience change. Like now I see, hearing. So it's more subtle and more refined. But if I form a view that impermanence is a changing of these feelings, now pain and now is absence of pain. Yeah, it's true. I mean, nothing wrong here. And I probably got it from inside. You can call it insight, but it's not ultimate. Yeah, like something more in the term of impermanence, something deeper. And I don't know how deeper you can go, but definitely you can always go deeper and deeper. And like once you would attain arahantship, then please share with me how difficult. So yeah, I wish all of you to like in your own practice to see how attachment to anything, even spirituality or worldly things, can lead you to comparison. I'm superior, I'm inferior, I'm equal, and I kind of form view about myself or others like very strongly, and this leads me to suffering. So that's the theoretical part. And now it's our job to verify it. Is it true really? The scriptures tell something what helped me in my spiritual practice? Or for a moment I cannot understand it. Maybe put it aside, okay, later, on a later occasion, I may try to attempt to do it again. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.